Well, hello there. We're looking at our last chapter of the semester from the Art of Public Speaking, speaking on special occasions. Now, just a opening thought to know that we are also these days looking at impromptu speeches and speaking on special occasions and impromptu speeches. On the one hand, you might be doing an impromptu speech at a special occasion, but in general, they're just different speeches. A impromptu speech, as you will be hearing about, is one where you have uh, minimal amount of time for preparation and probably no time for practicing. And you'll be watching a video I ran across that I thought was very helpful in terms of how to, in a sense, prepare mentally for a spontaneous slash impromptu speech that you might give anytime. And so it's kind of setting your mind right from the get-go so that you're ready for that anytime. Special occasion speeches are more speeches that are given in unique situations, but they have plenty of time usually to both prepare what you're going to say, to think it out, to design it, to think of illustrations and examples, to work on the wording, and then to practice that presentation. So there are two different experiences. So there are basically four types of special occasion speeches that our textbook talks about. The first one is called a speech of introduction. A speech of introduction is where you are going to be introducing the main speaker of the event. And the key thing to know is that it is not about you. You are not the main speaker. You are simply going to be introducing the main speaker to build enthusiasm for the speaker, to build enthusiasm for the topic, so that people have some anticipation that you're going to warm up the room. Several years ago, my wife and I were able to go see a recording or a taping of the comedy Seinfeld in Burbank. And when we went there, and you've probably maybe have been to a recording as well. But the first thing they do is have a person come up to warm up the crowd and tells you to laugh, to enjoy yourself, to have fun. Because when the uh, actors come out, Jerry Seinfeld and George and Kramer and Elaine, all those folks, they want it to be a enthusiastic group. They don't want it just to be a very quiet setting. So same thing, that your job as a speech at a speech of introduction is to warm up the crowd to what is going to be coming next. And a few guidelines for this is, number one, be brief. Again, you are not the main speaker. You don't need a whole lot of material, but you want to be brief and short and to the point. Another thing is you want to make sure you get your information correct. It is similar to, maybe I've done many funerals over the years, and I have seen sometimes where somebody else is doing the funeral, and maybe the pastor had met with the family, and the guy's name was Robert. And so when it comes time for the funeral, the pastor gets up there and he says, well, I want to make it a little bit warmer, a little more friendly. So I'm going to, so Bob this and Bobby that and Bob this and Bobby that. And the family sitting there saying, we never called him Bobby. We just called him Robert all the time. We told the pastor that. So you want to make sure that all your information, the names, family members, whatever you're going to be saying, make sure you get your information right in a speech of introduction, that don't use nicknames that they didn't use, and just, don't assume anything. Present your material based on what you know is true and accurate. Names, ages, dates if you're going to go that direction. Use notes if you need to, but make sure you get your information right, because it could be that the audience knows the speaker better than you do, and so you want to make sure you get your information right. Another issue to ask is, what is the occasion? If it is it a wedding? Is it a funeral? Is it a family reunion? because the occasion may set the tone for how you want to speak and what you want to say and how you want to approach your introduction. Lighthearted, somber, the occasion will give you a lot of clues of how to approach it. And then also, you want to make the speaker feel welcome, and both yourself, be friendly, be kind, be excited, but you also want to do what you can to make the audience make the speaker feel welcome. So you want to set a good scene and anticipate what is coming up next. You want to also avoid making the speaker not feel welcome by some of those things you might do that just don't work that well. First of all, don't overpraise the speaker. Don't keep saying how wonderful and amazing and great they are. Maybe they are, but you don't want to overstress that. You don't want to create unrealistic expectations for the speaker, that there's no way the speaker can live up to those expectations. So you're putting a lot of unnecessary stress and pressure on the speaker. And you don't want to embarrass the speaker about telling, maybe you've known the speaker for many years and you know all these embarrassing stories. You don't want to bring those up and make again, a different type of stress or anxiety for the speaker, that they're going to walk up there and already be embarrassed. So be careful how you treat the speaker before they speak. Connect the speaker and the audience. Can you bring the two together so that there is a unity in the room, and the audience may feel like the speaker is kind of an extension of themselves, that speaker is one of us, and so it's part of the team, and then also create anticipation and drama. The textbook uses the example of not revealing the speaker's name, building them up, and then intentionally withholding the name until the last moment, so it builds some drama and some anticipation into the room. So that may be another strategy you may want to use for a speech of introduction. A second type of speech is a speech of presentation. And this one and the next one, which is a speech of acceptance, they kind of can get confusing sometimes. But a speech of presentation is where not that you are receiving the award, but you are presenting the award. And it is where you are the MC, maybe at the Oscars or Emmys, where you are presenting the award, the gift, the recognition to someone else. And the textbook pointed out it might simply be an announcement. So you're not doing a big presentation, you're not making it a big deal. You're just simply saying, so it's my pleasure to give the John B. Smith Academic Award to Kathy Spicoli. And so she gets the award, and that's it. A couple of other things, some housekeeping matters you may want to do is you may need to explain why they are receiving the award. What did they do to earn it, to get it, to receive it? What is it that brought them to that? Did they win a race? Did they have the highest score on a exam? What did they do to get the award they are receiving? And then a couple of other things. Number one is you may need to tell the audience about the award if nobody knows what it is. If it is the John B. Smith Academic Award, probably only John B. Smith may be the only one who knows what that's about. So just take a moment to tell them the John B. Smith Award is given to the person with the highest average test scores through their senior year of high school, so that everybody knows, oh, that's the context of what this award is being given to. And then they also, the wording doesn't sound that great, but to appreciate the losers. If it was a competition of some sort and there were several people, maybe first, second, and third place, the second and third place folks, were close, did almost as much, but somehow the first person won out. But to take a moment to say appreciation to those who did not win, but who were the runners up. So that's worth doing as well. A third type of speech is a speech of acceptance. And this is where you won whatever it is you won. You were the top, you were number one, you were the fastest, the smartest, the most proficient. and you came in first place. And your job is to show appreciation for receiving that award, to show graciousness, to show humility, to show kindness. And you want to recognize both those who are giving it, the organization, the school, the board, the whatever group is giving the award. Thank them for making it available. But then also to show appreciation for those who helped you achieve your accomplishment. Maybe it's your parents who helped you at basketball practice, or maybe it was your coach in high school that motivated you to go on to great things in college. Maybe it was a mentor or an instructor in high school who helped you, or maybe it was a neighbor or somebody else from your town that inspired you, encouraged you. And you've probably heard it before that whatever we accomplish, we are always standing on the shoulders of someone else, someone who went before us, somebody who set the pace, somebody who has assisted us with their time, their prayers, their encouragement financially. But who are the people who made a significant contribution and investment in you that helped you achieve the accomplishment that you're being recognized for today? We didn't do it by ourselves. So, and then finally is the fourth type is a commemorative speech. These are speeches that we say are speeches of praise or celebration, that we are recognizing, affirming, celebrating, proclaiming, enjoying, telling other people about a person or a group of people, maybe an institution like a college or another organization that you were part of, or maybe an idea or a concept. We don't hear that much these days, but just the idea of freedom. I was thinking about one of the great things about the United States is the freedom that we enjoy to do great things, even the freedom to do stupid things, but the freedom that we enjoy here, which would be worth a word and a nod and an affirmation. So when you're giving a commemorative speech, you're going to provide needed background information about the person, place, or event, so that people kind of have a context of understanding who it is you're speaking about, or what is the historical background of the institution that you're affirming that day. But the important thing is, and this is critical, you're not there to inform, but to inspire. So we've all done informative speeches. For 5 to 6 minutes, you've told us about the Statue of Liberty, or the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, or the 1967 Ford Mustang, whatever your topic was. But you gave us lots of information. That was perfect. But in this situation, it's not about the information, although you want to make sure any information you give is accurate and correct, but it is about inspiration. It is to go beyond just giving the what and giving the why and the purpose and the vision and the value and the significance of whatever it is that you are talking about, so that your audience just doesn't walk out with a full brain, but they walk out with a full heart. They feel excited and appreciative and inspired to maybe go on out and do the same kinds of things that the person you were talking about had accomplished in their life. You are expressing feelings and sentiments. Now, this isn't my strength. I'm probably more the informative, cognitive kind of speaker, but this is where people feel warm, and the textbook described in terms of kind of an art imagery of using warm colors. And so you're trying to create an emotion, not just data. And using language, chapter 12, we talked all about these different types of language tools we can use, of metaphors and similes and parallelism and repetition. And we can use all those methods to inspire and to move people. And they also talked about how Ronald Reagan was a master of this in his day. So those are all the different elements in terms of a commemorative speech. So these are just a few words about these special occasion speeches. You will likely finding yourself doing them. I'm thinking that the most likely place, unfortunately, is possibly at a funeral. And there will be a moment where the officiant will stand up and maybe give an opportunity to say, does anybody have anything they want to say? And you are going to be given that opportunity. And this is just a word of encouragement on this. When that time comes and you're saying, oh, I don't want to speak, it's too embarrassing. I don't want to speak, about grandpa. I'll cry or I will get too sad. But I'll tell you this. You will walk out kicking yourself if you don't take advantage of that opportunity. So even if it's short, even if you're embarrassed, even if you're not quite sure what to say, take a moment, put a few thoughts together based on maybe things you learned in this course, maybe what you learn on this upcoming video of impromptu speaking and non-prepared speeches, but do it. And if you do that, even if it doesn't turn out great, maybe it just turns out mediocre, you will be so much happier that you took advantage of that opportunity. So thinking ahead in general in life about speaking opportunities, because they will arise. And the question is, will you be ready and will you step up? Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.